morning, everyone. Frank Bassesi here at Cosmic Golf with Brent, the putt star. Be truly whirling. This is hole number 1. So you guys are doing all right. Sloppy V, let's get the show on the road. Thank you, sir. Let me know how the audio sounds. If the video quality is good, testing out the internet down here. Hole number 1 is a left to right, then right to left. You got to hit it a little bit harder than you think you do. Get it down there. See you hit a little bit harder than that. That's a good leave. So I'll take my shot. You want to start from the left dot, as far left as you can. And you're aiming at the rough out there, just inside the left edge of the edge of the rough on the right. And you just want to hit this ball a little bit harder than you think you do. Give it a good wrap down there. And you want to make it, you want it to kind of slam into the pin. That was really close, that right lipped out. Go ahead, head down here. My leave, it's hole 1. This putt from this position here breaks a little bit right to left. Let me know how the audio is, the video quality. I'd appreciate it. The tiniest bit right to left, just aim right center, bang it in. All right. Hole number 2, long hole, about 40 feet long. Get you, I'll move the camera over here. So we're just trying to get everything all. So Brent is playing this from the left side of the tee.
Actually, I was going to be asking you some of these adjustments again that I can't go right now.
Audio is good.
I know you were aiming toward the bunker a little bit.
Awesome. So on this hole, Brent's starting from the left side. If you start from the left side, you want to be kind of aiming at the wall that's jutting out right about here. I start more from the right side. And if you start from the right side, you want to be about a putter off the right dot. And then you're kind of aiming at the right edge of that bunker that's out in the distance, in the middle, right underneath the TV. And this putt will break to the left, and then it will straighten out. Welcome, everybody. It's Cosmic Golf with Brent Whirling, the putt star. That's a great, it's just a little shy. There's a little shelf there. So Brent, do you have another ball?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to bring the camera down to the other side so I can try to explain. More focused on stream with Brent. Just want to see how the video is, how the quality is, how the audio sounds. So this is from behind the cup. We're on hole 2. I actually have to put in the tripod. So I'm going to try to live stream this next month. So we're trying to get the positions of the tripod. I think this putt breaks a little bit to the right. Coming up the slope, there's a little bit of a ridge right in front of Brent. So he's going to tiny bit uphill. Nice putt. So can you... All right, so I'm going to hit a shot. Let me see how the audio... I got a ball. I have a ball. So you guys let me know how this audio sounds, please. I'm going to be about 50 feet away from the camera at this point. You'll see me walking back down the lane, well, the hole here. So I'm starting about 1 putter away from the starting position on the right. And then I'm aiming, there's a bunker out there. I'm aiming at the right edge of that. I'm going to give this one a pretty good wrap. It breaks to the left. And then it snakes back to the right. That's a pretty good shot. So there's a mound here. It's really hard to tell these slopes. There's some, you have a ball, Brent. This mound here influences this. This is what really makes the ball travel down to the left. And then there's some ridge here, and there's a ridge here that you want to get the ball kind of coming this direction through the bunker, up this ridge. It'll start to turn a little bit to the right. and that way you can get it in this zone. You definitely need to get the ball at least that close, probably about there for it to stop. Otherwise, there's a little bit of a false edge. On this course, there's so many holes that have these little shells and false fronts, as we call them in golf, that you need to have your speed perfectly on. So there's the putt star, Mr. Whirling here, helping with the live stream. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully the stream quality is good. Hopefully it's smooth.
I'm with town.
And we're just going to do like kind of a walkthrough of hole 3. Hole 3 is the first 3 holes in this course. You just want to make pars on. These are all par 2s, so get them in 2 shots. Hole 3 is the first one that's very, very tough. The ball's going to swoop to the left, and then it's going to go back to the right, and the hole itself sits on just a little tiny shelf that's shaped like a diamond. Speed is absolutely critical on this one. It's on a good line, so a little bit fast. You're going to see this ball carry all the way to the back. This hole's critical for you to get your round started in the right direction. If you make a par, you're doing great. So from behind the hole, you can kind of tell that little dark patch right in front of the cup. That's the back of the shelf. This putt's going to break ever so slightly to the right. So he's really just going to be aiming like left center, maybe inside a left lip. And it should be traveling at a very slow pace into the cup. Great, sneaks it in the left side. So the danger of this hole is ping-ponging it back and forth.
Providing some good content for your viewers.
Yeah, it's good. If you're back here and you try to run it hard and you miss, you're gonna go right down the other side. This hole's so critical for you to be so pristine on your speed on the first putt to get it on top of the shelf and get it to stay there. So we have a tournament coming up next March 13th, 14th, and 15th here at Cosmic Golf. This is Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And if you're a little bit too far left and light, the ball could just end up in the rough. And then this putt is extremely difficult to make. You're just trying to lay up to make a 3 at that point. I'll try to show you a little better putt this time. Oh, fine. But you play over here from the right dot and you're aiming at the cup. Just make sure you hit it with good speed. And you want the ball just to sit on top of this little diamond. It's a little short. You see how it rolls back. This is shaped, like I said, it's just shaped like a diamond. These putts from here break a little slightly to the left. So you can either lay up to this area. You know, these putts break a little bit slightly right to left. If you get back in here, you need to be very careful with your par putts. And that's hole 3 in a quick nutshell. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to do a course video. Now, hole 4. Hole 4, 5, and 6 on the first 9 holes are the ones you really need to key on. This is a very short hole. So we're going to try, it's going to be very difficult to get behind him. Go for the other side. This putt's probably about 15 feet in length. Okay, so Brent is basically going to be aiming directly at our camera. And the putt's going to immediately break to the left. And then there's a little hump that sends it back to the right. Hello, RB Bearfield. Thanks for watching. Well, and it tips back in. Great shot. Hole 4, 5, and 6 are the ones that you really need to focus on to try to make a hole-in-one. on the front 9 holes here at Cosmic Golf. So you start pretty close to the right, pretty much aiming right at the camera. Oh, a little too fast. But this one also, almost all the holes here sit on some kind of a shelf. This shelf is basically all of this. So that was a little bit too fast. Putts from back here aren't too bad. It's pretty straight. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, on to hole 5. Hole 5. This hole, a lot of these holes you're going to see the ball has multiple breaks, meaning that it's going to turn to the right and to the left. This is the first one that doesn't have that kind of a break to it. This one just breaks continuously to the left. You're going to swing the ball up here on top of the hill, and then it's going to come down the slope and head towards the cup. This is a kind of a tough angle to get the exact roll of the ball. So Brent is playing from the far left dot, and he's going to play more of a line that uses a much wider arc to it. Well, you'll see how the ball, once it exits the slope, how it lines up with the cup. Little bit fast. Not too bad, not too bad. It might have been, he might have started it a little bit too far left. Okay. So I play more kind of middle right side. And there's a tree on the wall that I'm aiming at. Once I do a course video tomorrow, we'll be showing you all the details on exactly the aim points that we're using. Let's get it out there. Not too bad. But this is the first one that's just a nice, gentle slope. You just try to find and pick your spot, roll it out there. And for the most part, you have a good chance to make an ace, and with good speed, you'll be able to make your par. All right. Hole 6. Hole 6 is the third of the trio here. Actually, I think, in my opinion, holes 4 through 9 are one that you want to kind of be a little bit more aggressive on. This is hole number 6. I think it's better to kind of see right behind the line here. We can watch Brent play. So you should be starting middle-ish tee, maybe slightly middle right, and aiming outside of that bunker to the right. The ball's going to hit the slope on the right, and it's going to start tracking towards the cup. If he hits a great putt, the ball should roll slightly through the bunker, and then it tracks towards the hole. Just a little bit pace, a little bit too much pace. Not bad line. Yeah, so his back's up against the pole, up against the wall there, so he would get some relief in a tournament setting. His putt's pretty straight from there. Yep. All right, so basically center, maybe just barely right of center on the tee. And there's aiming kind of middle of the mound. You get the ball started on the right line. It's in, just like that. Hole 6 is one that I think that you should make a very high percentage of the time. That's hole number 6. Hole 7, I think, is another one that you should be given a good run at. So the lay of the land here is you can play 2 different shots, which I can show you both shots. One, you're going to play left, and you're going to go in between the bunkers, right in there. And then the other one, you're actually going to aim at the little drain that's in front. You're going to actually aim way over here, and you're going to run through the middle bunker right in front of the cup. So I'm going to get Brent to demonstrate first. And this hole also sits on a shelf. Everything that's in front of the cup will slope backwards towards the bunkers. If you're too far right of the cup, when it goes by, it'll go in that back right bunker. All right, so he's playing it from the right side on the yellow dot. He's going to be aiming. There's a drain cover right here, right in the center of this drain cover. The ball's going to swoop through here. It's going to run through about here in this bunker, and then it'll gradually trickle back to the right. The other shot I described, it comes through here, but if you have too much space and it misses, it'll go in this bunker here. Hopefully everybody's doing great. Hopefully the video quality is good. Audio sounds great. This is a test stream for the upcoming Cosmic Golf Tournament. Look at this. Great shot. Exact same shot. Put the ball on the right dot. Here at Cosmic Golf, I'm going to show you guys the teeing areas. You just have 2 yellow dots out here. You can place the ball anywhere in between the yellow dots, not in front of them, anywhere behind them or on the dot. Some part of the ball must be touching the dot, even if it's on the outside of the dot. Same shot. Middle of the drain, send it down there. A little unlucky. Usually that ball starts to track a little bit more to the right. Usually that ball curls back towards the cup. It's a good shot. All right, hole number 8. It looks a lot more deceiving than it really is. So this hole has 3 large mounds that you must navigate. So most players play this from the middle of the tee to the right, and you're kind of aiming. Now, when John Ventura is asking a question, what happens if you're up against the fringe of the rough? You don't get any relief. You must play the ball where it is. Some players are playing it from the right side of the tee, and they're aiming right in this area on the side of the rough. So basically, the ball is going to come over this mound. It's going to swoop to the right and then back to the left, and you hope that it lines up. I think that found a better line where you're playing about 2 putters, almost center, maybe left center, and it's aiming straight at the cup or slightly left of it, and it gives it a good run. So, Brent, if you want to demonstrate here. So he's about center tee. It's fine. I don't think the tee position has to be exact. He's just going to be aiming basically kind of left lip-ish of the cup there. And you're going to see this ball swoop way to the right and then back to the left, and it'll line up. There's a little ridge, as with most of the cups here, that protects the hole. Yep, it's back to the right, to the left. That's going to miss a little bit to the right. No, it got in. Perfect. There you go. Just the way we drew it up. So I'll bring the camera from the other side so you can see what it looks like. So it's kind of hard to tell, but pretty severe little mounds right here. I didn't think he quite got that out far enough right, but it was perfect. Nice shot there, putt star. All right. Let's get you from behind the hole. This is hole number 8. I'm hitting the same shot, about 2 putters from the left side, aiming pretty much at the cup or what I think is left edge. And I just want to get you everything about this course that you're going to hear me talk about is the speed. Everything's got to be speed, speed, speed. Speed, speed, speed. All about the speed. Great speed, just a little off. But that's the gist of hole number 8. If you come up a little shy, it's a little false edge. A lot of these have a little false edge. If you come up a little shy, it will roll back, and generally it'll kind of roll back towards the middle. So if you come here and you're trying to play a very finessey kind of shot, a lot of balls end up like in kind of in this low area, and it's not too bad. Also, a lot of shots too, as John Ventura mentioned, you can get up here and you get up against the rough collar like this, and you get no relief. You just have to try to hit a great putt and barely hitting the top of the ball. So it can be quite challenging if you are in a precarious position up against the rough and you have not the best lie. All right, hole number 9. So we'll start from the beginning of hole number 9. The layout of this course is, it's kind of unusual. There's no signs or anything kind of pointing you in the right direction. So it's just one of these ones you have to kind of experience it or ask other people about. Hole 9 is a right to left bending shot. You can start pretty much anywhere on the tee. Just pick your line and get your speed right. Most players like to start from the middle and then over towards the right side. So let's do the shot, Brent, where you're playing from the middle and you're aiming at the flag on 18. So that flag away, sorry about that, way out there in the distance, that's the flag for 18. So this is the standard play. So center tee, aiming at that flag we pointed at. And this ball is going to break to the left, and then it's going to go up the tiniest little rise, and the hole kind of sits on a little plateau. That's probably a little light. And it just barely got up the rise, and it stayed there. Wow. That barely stayed up. So if you look closely, you can kind of see that rise right in front of the green, a little dark patch. Right in there, the little dark patch. Right where his putter shadow is. This putt isn't too bad from here. Breaks a little left. You didn't know that. All right. Some of these are a little bit challenging for the perfect camera position. So I think this isn't too bad. Back a little bit more. That gets almost all of it. All right, so I like to play a shot where I'm starting from the right side, and there's a little point in the rough outline here. I'm all the way on the right dot. I'm actually aiming probably slightly to the inside of the rough. There's also a line in the carpet that you can see here. Well, it's probably really hard to see. You might be able to see it on the camera, but when you're here in person, it's a little bit more visible. So basically right on the dot, just inside that little rough pointed at. Get your speed right. Good run. Drift a little bit past the cup. These putts back here aren't too bad. Basically aim like left center. And make sure you hit it hard enough. Whoops. Anyways, that's hole number 9. Forgive me, guys. It's been a couple of years. All right. Hole number 10. Moving to the backside. This hole is one you want to go to the right side of that oddly shaped bunker, and then you're going to basically aiming in the middle of the bunker to the right. So Brent, you want to set up? You want to set up, Brent? Yeah, so you're going to be basically aiming in the middle of that bunker to the right. And this ball's going to break to the left in between the 2 bunkers. And then there's 2 little tiers that it needs to go up first before it gets towards the cup. So you got to hit this one a little bit harder than you think you do. Because it goes downhill, then uphill, then downhill, then uphill twice. Pretty good shot if it gets up there. Great shot. And it's in. Perfect. Great shot, Brent. Yeah, where was this in December, he says. All right, get behind the cup so you can see it from the back side. Not the easiest one to make. That was a great putt. So same thing, about a putter head and a ball inside, length inside the right side. Aim in the center of that bunker, let's give it a ride. Oof. I'm all over it with the speed. All right, hole 10. Moving right along, moving right along. Provide some feedback, guys, if you can. Let me know audio sounds good, video quality is good or not. I'd appreciate it. Hole 11. This is a tricky little hole. Seems like you should make it a lot more than you do. Hole sits again on top of a tiny little shelf. You can kind of see the dark patch right in front of the cup. But this hole has several different ways you can play it. And Brent, which way are you going to? Okay, so Brent's going to do the right dot, and he's going to aim just off the water there on the right side of the water.
Where did we tee up when we were going in the water?
That'd be all the way on the left side. So I'll show you the left side shot. You do the right. You can do the right side. I'll show the left side. So he's aiming just off the right edge of that water. The ball's going to break to the right. It's going to straighten out, and it's actually going to trail back to the left if he hits a good shot. And that ball's going to miss to the left. So he started that one, good speed, great speed, but he started that one just a little bit too far left. I like the angle of this lighting because you can see the ridge, that little dark patch right in front of the cup. Those are the tiny little slopes that they've put in little false edges. All right, I'm up on hole 11. I'm going to play the shot starting from the left side. So I'm going to be aiming a little bit more inside the water here, starting from the left. If I hit a good shot, you're going to see my ball roll right by this water at this angle. And it's going to come up the slope, and it's going to start to turn left. This hole has probably about at least three different ways you can play it. A lot of these holes, tomorrow when I do the course video, I'm going to try to show you all these different alternate lines. A lot of it is just about finding whatever line you want to play and just matching the speed. So I'm playing about a ball off the left dot. I'm aiming about 6 inches inside the water from here. If it gets up there, there's that false front again. I was right on line. Just needed to hit a little bit harder. But if this ball was just not even a half a ball short of the net, there it goes. I barely got it up there. Thankfully, the putts, even from below the hole, they're not too bad. That is hole 11. All right, now on the hole 12 is a must make. Absolute must make this hole. So this putt is about probably a little slightly less than 15 feet in length, maybe about 12 feet. And you start from the right side. I think playing it slightly off of the dot to the left is probably a better chance. I don't know. You can play it on the dot, slightly off the dot. You're basically aiming like left center of the cup, left edge at the very most. You just get the ball started on line. It's going to kind of go through the little valley in the little water area, and then it's just going to line up with the cup. You have to make this. Boom. Just like that. It just kind of wiggles back and forth. Brent's doing really great. Nice putt, sir. Get you from the back side here. These little these columns here are posing a little bit of a challenge, but that's why we're doing a test stream, so we can get it all worked out and iron out the kinks. It's been a minute, so I'm going to play the exact same shot, just a little bit off the dot on the left. Aim left center. Try to aim left center, maybe inside the left lip. Let's get it started. Too slow. A little too far right, a little too slow. And you can see the ball probably disappeared off your screen. Every hole here has a little ridge. See where that ball ended up as it fell off the ridge. I don't remember what these do. Just gonna guess pretty straight. Yep, that's a straight putt. Not too bad. But this is one that you've really got to make it. You can never leave this short. I mean, if you do anything, just smash it off the pin. But you've got to give this one a good run. For whatever reason, I don't know. I must be just starting at just a fraction too far right. All right, 13. The second of the trio of dangerous holes. This is going to be a little lengthy explanation on how this one works. But you walk backwards from hole 12, back over here to the teeing area. The longest hole on the course. So the teeing area is here. It breaks to the left towards the pole. Once it comes around this bend, there's a mound over here that starts to throw the ball back to the right. And then it goes down into this valley where the water is, and then back up to a little tier where the cup is at. It's going to be a little challenging to try to capture this one. So we'll see if we can get Mr. Whirling from over here. And whenever you're ready, sir. Brent's on fire. I think he's like 3 under on this round. (32 minutes in. Not too bad. Only used about 12% battery, so that's good. All right, sends the ball down. You're going to see it come down through here. And here's the false edges. And that one's just going to keep on rolling down. It is, if you do get a little bit too far, it will go in those back bunkers. The putts from back here aren't too bad. That's actually pretty much directly behind the cup. It's very straight. From here, it's very, very straight. But another one, you want to be slightly careful with the speed. You don't want to run it by because then it'll go off the other side back into the water. Ooh, tip back in. Wow, the backdoor deuce. Sweet. The backup deuce. All right. I don't know how we're going to be able to capture this one. Sure, if you want to, this wouldn't be too bad if you wanted to go here and then use, this should capture most of it. And then as the ball passes this, just turn this and just pan it this way. Okay. That'd be sweet. All right, testing. All right, my turn. Here we go, hole 13. This is the second of the critical ones. They're all crucial, but if there's any ones out here that are the more important than the others, you want to be careful with are 3, 13, and the upcoming 15th. Start from the left side. You want to come kind of close to the rough on the left. Send the ball out there. Want that one to slow down a little bit. Slow down. Perfect. Kept it on the shelf. That's exactly what you want. Keep it on top of the shelf on this one. Have a tap in for your par. It's all good. So just to kind of show you guys a little bit here, if the ball is entering at kind of a weird angle, see how this thing, it'll kind of go over there and it'll come down this way, and then you're kind of pinned up against this. You have no swing, so you'll get relief. You'll move the ball out so that you can have the free putting stroke. We're not going to force you to have to, finagle your arm around this and do all this stuff. I almost made that anyways. But yeah, so the ridge, the shelf is about there. And like I said, if you're a little bit too firm, you can go all the way back in these bunkers. It's very crucial for you to get your speed right on this hole. Make sure you hit a good quality strike on the ball. All right, 14. Great, John. That's exactly what I was hoping for, is that the audio would be good. So I'm wearing a Bluetooth microphone, so I'm glad that it's working as intended. Can't wait to go back and listen to it myself. All right, hole 14. It's hard to tell, but you're basically putting over, I call it like a basketball or a beach ball. You must start this ball a couple of inches to the right of the cup. Brent, if you can demonstrate one where you just barely slightly miss it to the left, that would be cool. I'll throw your ball back to you. Let me get set up here. So if you just a little bit, and of course he nuts it. Of course, that's the shot. You just want to, you're just aiming just a little bit outside the right. I'm hoping he shows you one where if you just barely pull it, watch what happens. Like I said, you're basically putting over a basketball. So you're a little far left, and there it goes. Right, so that ball's just going to keep carrying to the right. There we go, it's a little better. So you have quite the runoff there. I'm trying to find the positions here. There we go. So there's a little ridge like this. So he's going to be trying to start you want to try to start this ball just a couple of inches right of the cup. You got a little backstop there. You see it kind of bounced off the rough. These putts over here, just left lip. Not too bad. My tendency is to bail out to the right on this one, just because I don't want it to go left and be way down in that area. But you just want to start this ball just a couple of inches outside, maybe about four inches or so outside the right edge. I thought that was a good shot, and it just started tracking left. But anything over to the right, you can use this right side as kind of a safe play if you want to aim farther right. Start a little bit more inside the dot. You can aim a little farther right and just kind of give it a whack down there. I jam it right in. Trying to show you that you can use this area over here as a way to kind of get the ball to bump off the rough and get it really close and have a tap in anyways for a par. So that's 14 in a quick nutshell. Now we're going to move on to the third difficult hole here, which is number 15. You have that large water out there that you are dealing with. This putt breaks to the right and then to the left and then back to the right and then back to the left. So all about the speed here, as with every other hole. So I start about one putter head-ish inside the dot on the right. And then the flag, not 15, but the one that's back behind it to the left, 17. So this one right there is where you're aiming at. Just give it a ride, get your speed right. And once again, the hole sits on top of a little shelf. You're aiming into I aim at the flag on the distance. Yeah. So give it a ride. That's a good line. Ball tail off to the right. Good speed. Sit down ball. That's going to trickle a little bit more. Trickle more. Yep. All right. So this one has a little bit of a downhill behind the cup. This putt from behind the hole, I believe, breaks the tiniest bit to the left. I think it's just right center and slightly uphill. Oh, if he pushed it or if it started to slide a little right. Couldn't tell. Couldn't tell if you pushed it slightly and then it started to slide right, or if it was just straight. Fire the caddy. Sorry.
No, I had the same thought. I thought it was breaking left.
All right. We're going to get this thing.
Pretty straight, to be honest.
Try to get this set up here. All right, here we go. That's a little better.
I think because there was a hill that's like from left to right where I was sitting.
All right, so one putter off, and then basically aiming in this area. One putter from the right. Speed. Every single putt on this course is all about the speed. There's no forgiveness, no backs. There's no rails. There's no rocks to help you out. Sometimes you can bump it off the rough border, but generally, for the most part, you don't have anything to save you. Get up there. That's a good putt right there. That's a good putt. So if you come up short, a little bit not quite hard enough, that's going to turn around and it's pretty much always going to go that way. If you hit a shot a little bit too far to the right and you'll miss this ridge, that influences it back to the left, and then you can end up all the way over here or even all the way over there. Now on to the most devilish hole on the course, number 16. Not a particularly long hole, 15 to 18 feet, but you're putting over a mound that's going to break immediately to the left. Well, that would definitely help if I would have all the legs open all the way. So you're going to start the ball just a little bit off the yellow dot here, so probably about there-ish, somewhere in this area, and aiming right in the center of that bunker, that little bunker to the right. Now, can you show one, Brent, that if you're a little bit too little of speed, little light on the speed, what happens? So there's two big outcomes on this hole. It's very hard to actually ace it. But if you're a little soft and a little bit too far right, that can happen. Now show one if you're a little soft and too far left. Little soft, too far left, and then the opposite happens. It's such a short little hole, but it's so devilish because you need to get your ball started on the right line and have good speed. If you hit one a little bit too fast, it'll go in that back right bunker to the right of the cup. So this hole, it seems like you should be able to manage this one pretty easily, but you need to be so pristine line and speed every time on this one. You have to take this hole so seriously. If you get in this bunker over here, for me, I'm using a broomstick, but if you get into this bunker over here, I have no swing. I have to literally just pick the putter up somehow and try to figure out how to pop it out there. So you have no swing. So you do not want to be here. This one isn't quite as bad, but it's still pretty bad because of how narrow it is. So just a little bit off the left, basically aiming pretty much center of this bunker here, and you got to get the speed right. You want to demonstrate, sir? Now that I've given him the feel of hitting it too lightly, he's probably going to smash it. See if he can get it right. Not bad at all, sir. That's a great putt. You can just get it up there, like, see how it wants to tail away. See it, yeah. How it wants to tail away towards the bunker. Now I'm just playing the same shot. Center of that bunker, just slightly off the left, and just try to get the speed right. how that just wants to keep drifting away. But anything in this area anything in this zone is a good shot, and those putts are generally pretty straight. You come here and you play 16. At first, it seems like it's such a difficult hole, but once you get the line and you get the speed married down, it's not too bad. All right, 17. This putt, basically you start just inside the right dot, and you're aiming just inside the right bunker. Brent, take her away, sir. You're 3 under par. 2 under? Oh, he's 2 under. Oh, yeah, okay, bogey. He had bogey on 15. So just inside the dot on the right, and then you're aiming inside the left edge of the right bunker. Push that one just a little bit too far right. Got a little crowd of people that's finally showing up. I was expecting it to be a little bit busier. They have a Mardi Gras party here tonight. Putt's very straight. Woo! Okay, so he was up against the fringe there and said he had to chop down on it. All right. Let's try to get a good one for you guys here. This is another one. There's multiple ways you can play it. But I think most people like to play this way. So just inside the dot on the right, and you want to aim just inside the left edge of the right bunker. Boom, finally an ace. And that's it for 17. Basically the main thing is just don't leave it short, because there is, again, another little false front here. If you do leave it short, it will come back. But everything from back here, I mean, the longest putt you're gonna have is 3.5 feet. Even if you're back, even if you're back here, and these putts aren't too bad either. So that's the gist of 17. Don't leave it over 2 feet short. On to the final one. 18. All right, multiple ways to play this one too. This putt breaks to the right, and then right about where Brent's standing, it starts to break back to the left. And then the hole, once again, sits on top of a little shelf. So I don't know what shot Brent is going to play. I think you should play the one you start on the left dot and aim straight at the cup. So that's the shot he's going to play. Left dot, aiming basically right at the cup. When you watch the ball out there, it's going to, if he hits a good shot, it's going to start tracking, and it's going to look like it's going to go towards that bunker, and then it's going to swoop back to the left. Yep, and then back to the left. That could be in. Ah, good shot. 3 feet past the cup, not too bad. There's another way to play it, where you're starting from the right side, which I'm going to show you that line, and you're aiming at that bunker I'm pointing at right now, right where the rough meets the bunker. Brent to clean up his 2 under round. Nice. 2 under 34, sir. Very nice. All right, let's see if we can get a good angle here for you guys. There is a part of this that's preventing me from, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right. So I'm going to play from the right side, and lots of players play this shot too, where you're basically aiming right where this rough and the bunker meet, and you're playing a shot that breaks from left to right, and then as it gets closer to the hole, it straightens out and it actually starts to break right to left. And every single hole, like I've said so many times, it's just all about marrying the line and the speed. Oh, right lip. Ouch. Putts from back here aren't too bad. It's basically like left center. Aim left center of the hole, knock it in. Bam, there you go. Well, that's Cosmic Golf. That was quick. That took 50 minutes exactly to go through all of that. So let's just kind of show you guys a little bit of the lay of the land here. We have, it's all Augusta National themed. So you have the leaderboard. It's kind of like Augusta National. You got the pine trees, the graphics on the walls, even the hole designs and whatnot here are themed after Augusta National, where they play the Masters tournament on the PGA Tour. But this is the lay of the land here. They have a restaurant, they have a bar, really good food. They've got a driving range outside. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see this because it's an emergency exit only door. If you look outside here, you're gonna see some kind of, yeah, it's gonna be really hard for you guys to see that. But there's driving range out there, like kind of like Top Golf with targets and whatnot. The point of this is obviously for me personally, it's the putting course. I don't play golf anymore, but this is it. And we will be running a live stream March 13th, 14th, and 15th down here at Cosmic Golf. Because this is going so well and I still have lots of battery life left and it seems to be running smoothly, might as well just keep it going and we'll just putt some more and just live stream the practice of this, just, you know, taking you guys through the minds of tournament players and how we're going to set up for the tournament and what kind of shots we're going to practice. So if you want to stay with me and stay tuned, cool. I'm going to keep talking and we'll just play and kind of explain some other shots, maybe try some alternate lines and just some general public out here now. It's getting a little more exciting. And let's go. I'm going to bring the camera over here, I think, for hole one. If you guys have any suggestions on camera placements or maybe where you might want to see something a little bit different, please let me know. Some of these are difficult to capture because this gigantic table is right behind the cup. So maybe just have I think this would capture the majority of the golf shots over here. Does a pretty good job, and this camera's on quite the severe incline right now, and it's doing a pretty decent job. So why not? Let's play around, or at least jump from hole to hole. So this is hole one. Brent, what do you think about this place?
They hear me well? I don't know.
Give Brent and Mike a little bit here.
Oh boy.
There you go.
Well, I think it's a very skillful type of a putting course. It's a good place. It's nice and indoors. The carpet rules really well, and I guess one thing that we've both spoken about to the designer and such, we think that some of the hole layouts do a decent job of kind of gravitating toward the cup, not away from it like you see at some courses.
Yeah, that's true. What he just touched on there is there's so many golf courses that we play where it seems like the course design, it makes it really difficult for you to get the ball close to the cup as everything just kind of crowns or mounds away from it, just kind of repels the ball. Whereas this one, you can play many different types of shots, many different lines. Just pick your line, pick your speed. So that's a little light, but it's fine. There's a little backstop behind the cup. You'll see this ball kind of come back. That's not really bouncing off the rough. It's just a little bit of a slope back there that kind of helps bring the ball back in. I think part of the stream too, I should cover the dangers. Maybe I'll just do that on this part here, the dangers of the putts. So this putt breaks immediately to the right when you hit it. If you hit it a little bit right, too far right and a little bit too slow, I'm gonna try to demonstrate that for you. So you're a little too far right and a little slow. It's going to touch that rough. Watch this. And it ends up in that bunker. So you want to be a little bit firm with the putt, and then trying to practice out of this bunker. It's not extremely difficult, but it wasn't too bad of a try. Putt breaks a little bit to the right, but if you're a little bit too slow and too far right, it can actually bump off this rough. This slopes so severely, this ball can go right out of bounds. Now in the tournaments, that does not count as a penalty stroke, but it's just to kind of show you the severity of some of the slopes here. It's really hard to tell until you're actually here in person. So playing from the left dot, I'm aiming at the left part of the rough down there. Just make sure you hit it hard enough. Give it a good run. A lot of times when you make this, the ball's just gonna slam straight into the pin and go in. It's very hard to, what we would call, last roll it or dive the ball into the cup and for it to go very slowly, because the slope on that side of the green just doesn't allow for it. So this slope over here just does not allow for you to go at a slow pace. It's so hard to get to that spot because you're limited on where you can tee up at. All right, let's go over to hole 2. So we're on hole 2. This is another one that kind of snakes. The majority of the putt breaks from right to left, and then it's gonna come up these little ridges right here and then break back towards the right. And the cup just sits on a little tier in the back. Holes 1, 2, and 3, you just want to get off to a great start. This is good testing here for the test stream. I'm going to put some tape out here and mark these positions. What's that, Brent? That's it. You got it. That's about right. Yep. And then he's going to be aiming right around this area, right on the right edge of this bunker. There's a big mound right here. That's what influences the ball. It's going to climb up the ridge, turn back to the right. As long as it stays up there, that's fine. Good speed. Whoop, whoop. It's about one putter from the right. Now, when I played this course in the past, I started from the left. I just found that playing it from the right side, I think gets a little bit more of a consistent track through the slopes and gets you coming up the ridges in front of the cup at a little bit more of a consistent angle, which I think is really what this course is all about, is finding your speed, but really just trying to find a consistent angle to come up the little ridges in front of the cup. That's a great shot, great speed. So using this mound here to get the ball coming through here, and then it kicks it back toward the right, and then up towards the cup. The first 3 holes just make a par, and you're feeling good about yourself. This course is very easy to just go completely dry on and not make any aces. All right, hole 3, got some general public out there. So we're playing it right on the dot and then aiming right at the cup, pretty much. That's got a good chance. Stay out of there. That's perfect. Look at that. Look at the speed on that's pristine. Exactly cup high. That's exactly what you want. Stress-free tap in deuce. We'll just bring the camera angle over this way. We've got some general public on hole number 4. some more people have shown up here, starting out on the course. Nice to see. This is a course that you must play if you are a serious putter, if you're a putter, if you're just if you're a good golfer, maybe your putting is struggling a little bit. I think this is a fantastic course to come over here and putt and get your lag putting. Get your lag putting down, because that's what this is all about. It's all about the speed. So I went for that. Boom! So if you go for it, you put a little bit more speed on it, and you're using this slope to kick the ball back to the right. I've never been over here, so I don't know what this does, but the majority of the shots I try to hit, they either end up, directly behind the cup, which you're just basically playing center cup and just running it in there. Or if you want to commit, if you're kind of scared of those putts back there, you want to play it in this area, and these putts just barely break ever so slightly from right to left. And I think if you play it from over here, you have more of the shelf to work with. If you're putting from back here, this is kind of like a very narrow section, because like I said, this is a diamond shape. Right, so if you're putting from here, you have more shelf to work with if you miss, that you've got all the way until about there before it actually goes off the other side. I'll try to miss it on purpose so you can see how far that ball ran by. You can probably go all the way to there before it actually runs off the ridge. So you can play what's considered a layup shot over here. Actually, while we're here, might as well show you an alternate shot. Another way you can play it is all the way from the left side. And you can play this all the way to the right and really kind of slingshot this ball around. The speed has to be so good. All the way over there, and they'll kind of creep up there. Get the ball to stop, no, that's gonna roll off the back. Some players, like Greg Newport, for example, was playing this shot where you get it all the way up here, you use this slope to kick the ball back towards the cup, and you're kind of coming up the shelf at this angle instead of coming across this way. These putts from back here can be slightly challenging. It's not too bad. Let's start the ball just right on the left edge. So that's the theory about coming on this side, is you're getting the ball to run kind of close to this rough up in this area and get the ball to slope back towards the cup like that. Whatever shot you want to play. If you want to go for the ace, which most people would probably not recommend, including myself, then you play the shot from the right side. You want to skip ahead? Let's skip over to hole 7. We got the whole entire course in front of us. You want to start on hole 7 here? So we're going to skip 4, 5, and 6. 7, we've got quite the little crowd behind us. So hole 7, start from the right side and aim at the drain cover in the middle. It's kind of difficult to get this. So I'll just move it over here. So that little drain cover right there in front of that bunker, that's what we're aiming at from the right side, right in the middle of it. Hopefully everybody's doing well this evening. Thanks for joining. Been live for about an hour. Things seem to be going well so far. This is hole 7 at Cosmic Golf in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, United States. Look at this shot. Ooh, just a roll short. But I think after trying it so many different ways, I think this is just the optimal shot, because if you're a little bit strong, you're not going to go in the bunker that's behind the hole and to the right. And you still have a great chance to ace it, as Brent just showed you. Start from the right dot. Aim at the center of the, close to the center of the drain cover as you can. And give it a run. I started that ball probably just a little bit too far right, because you want the ball snaking through here. through about right here, and then it'll just kind of catch this little part of the bunker, and it'll send it to the cup. One more try. You can play it this way as well. I don't like playing it this way. It brings that bunker into play. You can play it this way too. We come through here and get the ball turning to the right. Like, you can make it like that too, but if you miss, then the ball's going to go in that back right bunker. I think the shot that I've been describing, where you aim at this drain hole cover, will get you just as many aces and fewer bogeys. It's not really turning back to the right like it had in the past. Usually when it comes through here, it'll want to leak back towards the cup. All right. Set over to hole number 8. This one's about 2 putters off of the left side and aim at the cup. Let's bring it over here. Standing in the fairway on 18. All right, 2 putters from the left. Yep. 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 So pretty much aiming, either at the cup or somewhere just off the left side of the cup. And this putt's gonna break to the right when it comes over the first mound, then back to the left, and then up this little slope, and hopefully it lines up with the cup. Well, he got all of that one. Oh no! You got the putted off the rough too. At this tournament, you putt it off the rough, and really where it's lying at right now is not too bad. It's just kind of right center, and that's really about all it is. So from that position, it's not too bad, but he just hit a little bit too firm.
Oh, that's good though. No, we can.
Yep, not too bad. I shot the Brent, so 2 putters from the left. And basically aim at the left edge of the cup. Give it a ride out there. It's a little bit too fast. See how the ball starts to slope back towards the cup? A little slower speed, it catches this ridge at just the right angle, and it gets you more straight on with this ridge, because if you come through here and you hit the ridge that wants to send the ball off to the right. Straight in putt. No problem. All right, hole 9. Well, this is the blood, sweat, and tears we put in when we practice for our ultra high stakes, high rollers, life on the line mini golf tournaments. So Brent wants to try my shot. You're gonna tee off from the right dot. You can tee off from the right dot, and he's going to aim just inside the little point of the rough. See if we can get a little better angle here. Some of these holes are a little bit awkward. All right, so the shot that I like to play from the right side, it takes a lot of the break out of it. I'm just aiming just inside where this point of this rough is. I'm just aiming just inside of that. Get up there. That was right on line. That was dead on line. Playing it from the middle, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, like I said, I guess if you can really figure out a way, you could probably play it from all the way over here, and then you're going to be probably sending the ball. You might be aiming all the way over here to try to use this entire slope to get it to kind of slingshot towards the cup. I like playing this shot because it's just a very minimal amount of break. And it just tracks towards the cup. Send it out there. Just not quite far enough right. I needed to be just a little bit farther right than that for it to catch the slope and get it going, tracking straight at the cup. But hopefully I don't lag this one this time. So there's a little ridge right there. You got to remember that you're putting uphill, but all it really is just kind of left center. Lagged it again. Maybe left lip. But there's a little down slope here and then an up slope right there. So, obviously you don't want to hit it too firm. You really try to run this thing in and you don't get it in there. And there it goes. Still trickling, right? You don't want to have this for a third putt. So a lot of these second putts, you can't be quite as aggressive as you want to be with them, just because of the danger of missing. Still want to be confident, but you can't quite put as much speed on it as you want to. All right, back to number 10. About a putter and a ball or so off the right side, aiming at the middle of the bunker there out on the right. Yeah, somewhere about there. Ball should be somewhere tracking somewhere in this area. That's got to go. So up a ridge, up another ridge. You can watch this ball kind of come back a little bit now. So you have downhill here, and then you have a mound that goes back uphill and sends the ball to the left, and then it goes back down into a valley, up the first ridge here, right? Up the first ridge, tracking to the left, and then you have a ridge here, and it goes like this. So you want the ball sending and tracking towards the left edge of the cup. So when it comes up this ridge, it'll turn back to the right. But again, you have downhill, downhill, and then 2 more uphills. So you got to hit this one just a little bit harder than you think you do. And actually, there's a backstop behind the hole that we should talk about for people that come here. If you don't have quite the touch, behind the cup, there is a backstop. If you get it really close to the rough line, I'm going to demonstrate this for you. As long as you don't go into the rough, the ball's going to actually come back down the slope, back towards the cup. So you have a much easier time for your par. So if you want to try to play a finesse shot and get it in, great. My opinion is just go ahead and give it a ride. And don't be afraid to hit it, because you have some help behind the cup. So I'm going to hit this one kind of hard so you can see that there's some help back there. And so I went ahead and crammed that. Oh no. As long as it doesn't go in the rough, that one bounced off the rough, but you can see just how much it came back. So I went from having a 6-foot putt now to a little 2-foot putt. But even still, if I drop a ball here like this, so there's it's kind of like a safety net in a way where the ball will slope back. So don't be afraid to give it a good run, because you do have some help. As long as you don't go into the rough and hit it that hard, you have some help behind the cup. So a putt about a ball from the right, the middle of the bunker out there. Send it on its way. Whoa. Oof, brutal. Hard right lip out. But it's next to the cup. Easy par. All right, number 11. So number 11 is a makeable one. You're going to start out, it's going to go downhill, back uphill, breaking to the right. And then once it gets past the water, it's going to break back to the left, and the hole sits just on top of that little shelf. multiple ways to play this. I'm actually going to show you a third way to play it. We've shown you from the extreme left to extreme right. So which shot do you want to play? Okay, so you're gonna start from the left side, just a little bit off the left dot, but about there-ish, and you're gonna aim about 6 inches inside the water, on 6 inches inside the right edge of the water. Now, if he hits a good shot, the ball is gonna come really close to touching the water, but it's not going to touch it. It's a little too far left. So if you aim a little too far left, yikes. Whoops. I don't know what that one does. Lebo, do you have that charted? I need Brad Lebo here right now to chart this. Lebo, where's your chart? Yikes. This ball's going to break a stack. It's going to break a stack to the right. Whoa, and it was too short. Look at that. Oof. So there's your lesson. Don't aim too far left. Good cleanup. So just a little bit off the left dot, just a few inches inside. Get it kind of close. It'll track back to the left. Ooh, so slightly too far right. I'm going to show you another way to play it. It's all about your speed, obviously. If you're a little bit too fast, it can carry into this back right bunker. If you're a little bit too fast, it'll just keep trickling. It'll go in that back right bunker. There's another way to play it where you start about a ball inside the right dot, and you play the right slope, and you just kind of swoop it all the way around. You can swoop it like that. It's very difficult to make it, but it's a consistent roll where you're not really taking on, you're only taking on 2 mounds instead of 3. So in a perfect world, maybe I'd start this a little bit farther left. And that one didn't break enough, and that's what I'm talking about. If you go a little bit too fast, you really need that ball to get so close to this rough line over here to get it to swing back towards the cup. So I don't suggest playing that shot unless you really, really have it dialed in and you really hate the other ones. But I think for the most people are either going to play from the right side out here on the right dot, aiming just to the right of the water, like this. It's a little slow. You can see that little false front right in front of the cup. These putts really aren't too bad. You can either play that shot or you can play the shot starting from the left where you aim inside the water. Just off the left dot, about a ball inside of it. Aim a couple of inches into the water. Too far left. So it's a fine line. If you want to make it, you really got to hit your line just right. A lot of these balls will go by the cup and they'll just run right past the lip and you think it's in, but it doesn't go in. All right, on to number 12. One of the critical holes on the course. Just inside the right dot and basically aiming, I don't know, some people say aiming here, some people are saying like aiming right at the pin is somewhere in this zone right here. I must have started too far left, back into the back bunker. It's not too bad of a shot. I think that's just right center or something like that, if I have it charted right. Yeah, it's got there's a little bubble there. A little bubble in that bunker. It's just right center, that's all it is. Not too bad. I'm gonna start it right on the dot. I think it's just more about your eye line, like what you're seeing, what you're perceiving on this one. I'm gonna start this one right on the dot and try to feel like I'm aiming right at the cup. That one tailed off to the left. So I don't know, I thought I started that on a good line. It's all about what you perceive, what you think is. Get right behind the cup, right behind the ball, and see if we can pick out a spot on the carpet here. And apparently I can't make this hole at all now. So this is a hole you got to make it. So let's just be just not aligning myself up just right. But these putts for these bunkers aren't too bad. I mean, that was very straight. All right, on to the critical number 13. We'll just bring the camera over here. Hole sits on top of this little shelf. Thank you everybody who's had stayed and watched. Appreciate it. Hopefully the quality is good. I'm gonna watch it back and make sure everything is to my liking. Oops. All right, spread. Starting on the left dot. Just gonna roll the ball pretty close to the left rough. There you go. See if the speed's good. And excellent. Exactly what you want. Anywhere on that shelf is a good putt. Barely, it's good though. Barely is good enough on this one. Starting the left dot. Should give it a good run. Sorry, the camera is still pointing at the cup. Hopefully you'll see a great result. That's not good enough. That was barely not good enough. And once again, we don't play where you have to kind of get pinned up against this. So you get to move it. You know, there might be a drop zone either here. Let's see if that would even be, it'll probably be either here. Sometimes the drop zone's like all the way over there. So we'll play, you know, if the drop zone's over here, this putt's not too bad. If I remember it right. That was very straight. I thought it was going to move slightly to the left. But if you have to play it, I guess if the drop zone was over here, for me, as I have a larger putter, I have this rough here to have to worry about. Comes up this hill and it wants to snap over to the left. So the lesson is don't go over there. Just try to get it somewhere on the hill. If anything, you're going to have a much better time making putts from back here than you are being over there. Ooh. So that's the critical and dangerous 13th hole. All right. I'm really amazed at my battery life here. We are live for 1 hour and 24 minutes, and I have used 25% battery life. I didn't even think this was even going to last an hour. The very innocent looking number 14. You're putting pretty much over a giant beach ball or a basketball. This entire thing is a mound. Starting just inside the right dot, aiming just a few inches outside the right edge. A little bit light. Is it going to hold on? It did hold on. Just barely. I'm going to start on the other side of the dot, just on the very edge, on the right edge of it, and see if the line plays all right. Nope, it's starting. It's a little bit too far right. There's a little backstop back there. It looks like it's going to go in. It never does. There's a little bit of a backstop back there. It just never goes in. That's 14. It's so difficult. You know, if there's other ways you can play this shot, I don't really know. You just have to get it over this mound in exactly the right spot. If you really want to bail out to the right and try something really weird, you can just kind of putt it over here and just kind of get it around and just let it settle in. If you're really scared of going to the left, you can just putt it like that and just kind of wrap it around and have a safe two. If I'm really cool, I'll show you a trick shot where it bounces off this rough and goes in. Did it by accident once. I've tried to replicate it since then and haven't been able to do it. Nope, too far right. That's what happens if you try to go for it. You need to hit exactly right there. We're just waiting for some general public to clear out of the way before we move on. See how it kind of runs off that rough and it'll just slide right up towards the cup. All right, 15. Hello. Third most difficult hole. Well, the third of the difficult holes. I run through this large water pond and the hole sits on the other side of it. After we finish this roundup, we'll go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Let Brent go first. So Brent's going to start from the middle of the tee. Generally, yeah, you're over there. Really more, you want to be more towards the right side. Just a little bit off the right dot, and then you're aiming at the flag on number 17. Can't see it in the camera, but it's probably about 3 feet left of the cup. You're gonna watch this ball break to the right, catch the ridge, break back towards the left, and kind of line up with the cup. As with every other hole, and repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. This is a great shot. A little slow down, slow down, slow down. That's gonna creep out, and he's gonna be up against that rough collar again. You're really gonna get to see this. Hang on 1 second, Brent, before you hit that. So, show you guys. Bring this down a little bit. He's right up against this rough collar. And where he's putting is kind of on an going back into an upslope. It's quite difficult. Even though this putt's about 4 feet long, it's actually quite difficult because he's only going to be able to hit the top half of the ball. Goes left. Yep. He's putting, chopping down on the ball, putting up a slope. It's just not good. There you go. Once you get used to it and you practice it a few times, it's not the worst thing in the world, but you have to practice it. It's just not something you can take for granted. Ooh, that's a little bit firm too. That's going to be in the same spot. Yep, exact same spot. I have basically exactly the same putt he does, that he just did. I'm only going to be able to catch the top half of the ball. And it breaks just slightly to the left, back up the hill. Sweet. Teeniest, tiniest little left-hand break. Onto the devilish number 16. Breaks right to left. So again, thanks everybody for watching. If you stuck with me for the entire 90 minutes of the stream, I really, really appreciate it. I know it's boring for it not to be in a tournament atmosphere, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys, really, for me personally, this is outside of a mini golf and putt-putt with rocks or bricks or rails. That's a great shot there. This is, I mean, it's got to be the best, just pure putting course I've ever played. It's so fair. You get what you hit. I mean, there's really not much more to say about it. You pick your line, you pick your speed, and if you match it all up right, you can have a great time out here, and you can have fun and make some aces. And if you're not stroking it well, it's going to be difficult. So I hit that one too slow and too far left, and that's what we talked about earlier. I believe this putt breaks a little bit to the left. You need to aim just outside the right. Yep. It's like that. Let's try that one again. So that was just a little bit too slow, a little bit too far left. Overcompensate for it. Back right bunker. Sit. Just slow enough. You can see it's. And those putts from back there aren't too bad. That's 16. We go on 17. Reasonable, good chance for an ace. Start from the right side, and then you're aiming just inside the left edge of the right bunker. Every hole out here is a chance to make an ace, but it's very easy to just go cold. And it's easy to get hot, especially on holes 4 through 9. You get through 1, 2, and 3, get off to a good start, make 3 pars, and then you go for 4 through 9. Good starting position. And he's going to be aiming just somewhere just inside this, somewhere over in here. You get a little bit too far right, then this slope influences it and is going to push it too far left. No, this one doesn't have any rollback. It's pretty flat back there. I wonder if he was starting maybe a little bit too far left. The putts from back there are very straight. Yep, no problem. Okay. So just inside the bunker. Give it a run. Ooh. Started that one just a little bit too far left. A little too far left. Putts from back here, no problem. All right, we'll play 18 and we'll end this stream. Once again, thank you for everybody for watching. I appreciate it so much. Number 18, Cosmic Golf. This is number 9, 18, side by side. The footprint in here is not very big. Like I was saying before, it can be quite challenging to kind of figure out the lay of the land.
So I said, I brought him off it, and they split us. And honestly,
If you've never been here before, there's no signs, there's no placards. The only thing that's out here that gives you any clue what hole it is the flag itself. But when the flags just sit limp like that, and you're not really looking for the numbers on the flags, the general public, it can be quite confusing, especially going from hole number 5 to number 6. A lot of people go from 5 to 14. Nice looking shot. Great speed. Great speed. A lot of people go from 5 to 14 by accident. Some people get off of hole 7 and they don't know where to go to hole 8, and they'll go from 7 to 17. So I hope that they will address that at some point in the future and put some signs out here, some arrows or something. So I'm going to play from the left side, and I'm going to aim at the cup, or maybe even slightly right edge of the cup. Get the ball slinging out there. Damn. So that's the way that I prefer to play it. I've tried tinkering with the right side, but if you aim at the right edge of the cup, you can use this little mound here to your advantage and get the ball tracking in, and it won't go into the bunker. All right. So we're going to bring our camera back over here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. My name is Frank Possessi. I've gone by Mini Golf Frank and Frankie Putts or a previous podcast that I was on, but there's a lot of influencers and people out here creating content that are just using their just regular old names. So why not? Why hide or just be under a different moniker when, just be me. So maybe you'll catch me out at one of these putting tournaments. And thank you, Will Schreier, for watching. I really appreciate it. I've been out here for an hour and 36 minutes at Cosmic.golf. If you've never been here before, it's in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. I live in Lafayette, Indiana, so it's about 3.5 hours away for me to drive here. And for Brent, it's about 5.5 hours each way, or 4. I think it's either 4.5. Brent, how far is it for you to here?
Drive from home,
Fort Wayne?
Decatur, 4 hours and 45.
So 4 hours and 45 minutes from Decatur, so 5 hours from Fort Wayne. So we travel down here to practice. We take it seriously. We compete, and we spend our time and money doing this. More people need to know about the competitive side of it, and I hope that I can come back and do some videos and some instructions on how to play some of these courses, get more people involved, kind of rekindle some interest. Brock Gillespie on the National Putting Tour is doing some really good work. He has a $25,000 guaranteed tournament coming up at the Putting Zone in Nashville, Tennessee. And the weekend before that is here at Cosmic Golf. So I would, if you can swing it, come to Cosmic Golf. It's 6 rounds, and there's match play. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there's 3 rounds Friday, 3 rounds Saturday, and then a match play on Sunday. So you get a lot of value for $200 entry fee for the professional division. And come check it out, and then head down to the Putting Zone the very next week. And then you can compete for a $25,000 guaranteed prize and $10K for first place. As far as the required ball for this tournament, Will asks, no. Even though this is sanctioned by the USPMGA, this particular tournament, you can use any USGA legal ball. So hopefully that will be a positive for people that maybe don't like hitting the Chromax balls other than using them on the mini golf bricks, because they do work well off of bricks, but as far as putting themselves, not so much. So for me personally, I think that's a win to be able to use any USGA legal ball. So I appreciate James Kaiser for taking it upon himself to do that. It's pointing towards me. So thanks to James Kaiser for letting us use USGA legal balls in a USPMGA sanctioned tournament. But I will be back next month on March 13th, 14th, and 15th, live streaming again. This is just a test run to see how the internet was, how the quality was. I'm going to go back and rewatch it myself and see if there's anything that I can do better or whatnot. Hopefully the audio was great. As you can see, I am wearing this mic, and I'm hoping that the quality was good, as it was in my previous streams. So that's that, and we're gonna grind a little bit more in practice and then call it a night, come back in the morning, and I'm going to do a course video, instructional video that I've done in the past. I haven't posted any content in a little over 2 years now, so it'd be nice to get back and do that again. So thanks you guys for watching, I really appreciate it, and have a good night.